Right, we're here with Dr. Jack Daniels previewing this weekend's NEAC Cross Country Championships. Coach, talk to us about your team's performance this season. Obviously a very successful season for both the men and women's side.
Well, we've been doing well. Our biggest problem, we need more numbers.
Yep.
Got to try to bring in more people and get it going. We're real tight on the men's team with just 5 on the team right now. Hopefully we can get 8 or 10 by next year.
Talk a little bit about, specifically on the women's side, Devin Terrio, a standout freshman, has really caught up to Emily Middlebrook as the season has gone on.
Well, Devin is really a good runner. There's no doubt about it. It's hard to say at what level she is in the conference because I have her track times from her senior year in high school, and it's hard to relate that to anything because nobody here has been running track time. So yeah. I assume she'd be doing pretty well, and she is. We'll have to just see how it goes.
What are some things you've seen her specifically improve upon as she's kind of learned as a runner under your tutelage?
It's really hard to say because was a good-looking runner when we started here. You know, I think she's gotten a little bit more into a little bit quicker leg turnover. Maybe I try to watch that on a lot of people because some of them kind of bound along and don't get much of a rhythm going. And,
sure. And
her rhythm is very, very nice. When you watch her run from a distance, and that's where it's fun to watch runners because you don't know, you know who they are. You say, oh, there's somebody who looks really, really good, and usually that applies to Devin.
Sure. And of course, Emily Middlebrook has won Runner of the Year twice at this conference championship.
Yeah.
No other runner in conference history has won twice in a row. So certainly 3 years in a row is definitely something that we're looking forward to. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think she's got tough competition this year, really. She was beaten in our last meet by a girl from Morrisville by 15 to 20 seconds. So that's somebody in the conference right there. Yeah, she's going to have a tough race. One of the meets that she did win earlier, that Emily won, was by about 2 feet. You know, so she's going to have her hands full. She's running well. She's healthy enough. So it's just a matter of if what she does is good enough to win, then it is. If it's not, then somebody else is better. That's the way it goes. Talk
a little bit about your time here so far at Wells College. Obviously, a longtime coach at SUNY Cortland. Yeah. Talk to us about your experiences here so far.
Well, probably the most positive thing that I've experienced here, aside from a beautiful campus and a nice location, are the kids on the team. Every one of them is nice. You know, when you have bigger teams, sometimes you don't get to know them all very well. And I know all these, and they're all nice. Every one of them is nice. That's the most important part about the whole team, I think. Is we get along, I get along with them, they get along with each other, and you can't ask for anything more than that.
What are some things you'd like to see the team improve upon next year from either a running standpoint? Obviously, a larger roster size is something that you would want, but from a fundamental cross-country perspective, what do you see as some things that could be improved?
Well, I think number one, we got to get more numbers.
Yeah.
That's my responsibility. I've got to recruit some runners.
Yeah.
More in the men's side than the women's side, but we can always use more women as well. And you know, we have really smart people on the team. Yeah. And Emily's such a good example there. You know, she's graduating in 3 years. Yeah. You know, theoretically, we should have her in another year, but we don't. So we have to make up for that. That's not going to be easy to make up for. But I think the most important thing for me to do is to try to encourage all the runners on both the men's and the women's teams to continue running during the year when we don't have competitions. Maybe some of them will even go to some road races in the spring or summer or something like that. And I think that's big. The biggest difference would be to try to convince them that running is a year-round sport. And for next year, I certainly would hope our goal would be to win the conference championship. I didn't even know the conference well enough to say about this year, but that would be my goal, would be to win the conference, and then my next goal after that would be to have full teams competing at the regional championships. My next goal would be to qualify some people to go to nationals. That's the way I'd like to see it go.
We're here with Emily Middlebrook of the women's cross-country team as they head off to the NEAC championships this weekend on the campus of SUNY IT. Emily, talk to us a little bit about your team's overall performance, both on the women's side and the men's side, certainly.
The women's team has had a phenomenal season this year. We've really steadily improved from last season, which is really great. We've been doing really well in our conference, and the men too have just done an excellent job. Everyone's really improving.
What different dynamic has Jack Daniels brought to the table?
Jack, he just is an expert in everything. So he brings in so many different aspects of running, whether it's physical fitness or really the mental toughness Jack really focuses on. And he teaches us how to get through a race, not only physically but mentally, and how to really push ourselves, and how that's a really big part of racing for us.
And you have several talented freshmen on the roster.
They have done a phenomenal job. You can tell they trained all summer. When we came in August, we were prepared. We had been training since the end of May, so you could really tell that everyone had been working hard and everybody's been committed since day one. And even since August, the end of August, we've all made great improvements. The top incoming freshmen are in the top 5. Like, they are absolutely pivotal to our scoring. So they've done a great job. They've improved and they came in ready. So we're very appreciative of it.
And then for you personally, you're a back-to-back winner of Runner of the Year, placing first at this event heading into this weekend. What has been your key to success in achieving those feats that no other runner, in conference history has done? And how hard is it, in your opinion, to achieve a third Runner of the Year title?
A big part of it for me has just been focusing on you can do it. That's probably the biggest hurdle that you need to face is you can actually do it. You just need to keep telling yourself that, yeah, I can do it again, and just always focusing on that in the race, because when you start off in the race, the person who starts off first isn't going to be first, so you just have to tell yourself to not get caught up in the race and that you can do it, and it's always a fun race, NEACs. It's a lot of fun. I think this year we have a lot of really good competition. I think in previous years it's just been a couple people and you kind of know who's going to be leading the race right from the get-go. Everyone has their favorites headed in. But this race, it's kind of different. There's a lot of different talent in the race, and so it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a really good race on Saturday to see who performs well.